Chapter 11 in Ragweed. Windshield and Fog Light. Safely beyond the ruins of the Cheese Squeeze Club, Ragweed halted. "Are you all right?" he asked Clutch. Clutch shook her head clear and looked back toward the club. "Oh, Mouse, why do those cats hate us so much?" she cried. Tears ran down her cheeks. "Like, what did we ever do to them? Know what I'm saying? They're so big and powerful. And what can we do? Like Zippo." Ragweed did not know what to say. Taking a deep breath, Clutch wiped away tears. "Hey, dude, you were something else. You saved my life. You were totally awesome." "You saved mine before," Ragweed said, "so we're even. Except, I don't think we should stand here talking. We need to find a safer place. You sure you're okay?" "Hey, I'm cool," Clutch said, but suddenly she turned to look again at what had been the club. "Hey, like, what about Dipstick and Lubnut? Have you seen them?" "I'm afraid not." Clutch swallowed hard. "What about my guitar?" she asked. "You smashed it on Silverside's nose." "Oh, yeah, right. And my deck?" "It's in Silverside's mouth." Clutch put her paws over her eyes. "Total yard sale," she said. "Biffed." Ragweed touched Clutch's shoulder gently. "Aw, dude," he said tentatively, "you did the best you could." "Yeah, like, maybe," Clutch replied. Suddenly she grinned. "Hey, was that some kind of killer music or what? Right on the cat's nose leather." Just as quickly she became grim again. "Do you think my bud's got, like, planted deep?" "I don't know." "Oh, Mouse, the Cheese Squeeze Club was one cool place. Know what I'm saying? Maybe I should go back and check on my buds." "Clutch," Ragweed urged. "Like, don't you think we'd be safer somewhere else?" "Safe? Yeah, right. We better haul. Follow me." As the two mice scurried along the sidewalk, Ragweed noticed they were not going back the way they had came. "Aren't we going the wrong way?" he asked. "Not really. Like, it might be safe to go back to my pad. It might not be safe to go back to my pad right away. Can't tell. Maybe Silversides knows where it's at. That's where she chased you. To live around here, dude, you have to be street savvy." "Street savvy?" "Like, keep your mind on the bind and your feet to the beat. Know what I'm saying?" "I think so. Where are we going?" "To my old mouse's place. They'll let us hang till this blows over. It's not far." After a 2-block run, Clutch darted into an alleyway and squirmed under a metal wall whose lower edge was old rubber. On the other side of the wall stood a very long and, to Ragweed's eyes, immense metal box with a long row of dirty windows. The box was perched on flat tires and painted yellow, though the paint was peeling badly. On one side of the box was written, "Amperville School District." "What is that?" Ragweed said. "Old school bus, dude, where my parents hang out their tails." Ragweed had no idea what a school bus was. Decided it was not the moment to ask more questions. Instead, he followed Clutch up into the bus itself. At the top of the ramp, Clutch paused. "My folks are way cool, Mouse. Just be yourself. You'll do fine." Inside the bus, the walls were covered with pictures painted on bits of paper with chewed edges. "Oh my," Ragweed murmured. "Like my old mouse is an artist," Clutch said with pride. "Know what I'm saying?" She stopped so Ragweed could admire the work. At first, Ragweed thought it was a demise of the bus, but made it difficult to see the pictures clearly. At first, Ragweed thought it was the demise of the bus that made it difficult to see the pictures clearly. I gotcha. Then he realized it was not the light, but the art that was obscure. The pictures consisted mainly of swirls of color and continuous shapes. He could not begin to tell what they represented, if anything. The old mouse, his name is Windshield, but we call him Windy, is really into cheese, Clutch explained. "That's what he paints." "He paints cheese?" Ragweed asked, bewildered. "Hey, duh, not the cheese itself. Like, he does portraits of cheese. Know what I'm saying? See here? That's his famous yellow cheese descending a stairway. This one is from his blue cheese period. And over there is American cheese. That blank picture isn't really blank. It's a hole from Swiss cheese. I mean, killer amazing. It takes like one wicked mind to think of nothing, don't you think? I bet you can never guess how Wendy does it. No, I don't think I could, Ragweed admitted. Uses his tail like, he may be my old mouse, Clutch said with pride, but he's the guy. But the guy's an awesome genius. Does your mother paint too? Ragweed asked. Foglight? Clutch asked. Nah, she's a poet. She's writing a mouse epic. Calls it Cheese of Grass. Going to be killer sweet. Word wipeout time. Been working on it for weeks. Should be done any sec now, but hey, dude, let me introduce you to them. She passed down the center of the bus, between rows of broken seats. Pictures hung everywhere. Some Ragweed saw at a glance. Some Ragweed saw at a glance were cheese paintings and presumably had been painted by Clutch's father. But there were other paintings, portraits of mice, landscapes, visions of human nests, streets. There were also twisted objects of all kinds. Ragweed was reminded of the pile of junk in which he had hidden by the railroad. My folks have a lot of artist friends, Clutch whispered by way of explanation. They can't sell what they make, so they swap stuff. Hey, Wendy, Foggy, what's up? Clutch called. At the front of the old bus were two mice. The large one, Ragweed, guessed he was Clutch's father. The one called Windshield was quite portly. His scruffy hair was gray-brown like his daughter's, but so dabbed with color he looked like a spotted creature. All around him was an array of bottle caps, each filled with paint of a different color. The tip of his tail, he was in the middle of painting a picture, was quite green. Ragweed noticed it was the same color as the top of Clutch's head. The other mouse, who was small and wiry, was bending intently over the work she was composing on paper, chewing a writing stick. Though Clutch called the greeting, she seemed to not have heard. Not so with Clutch's father. He looked around. Clutch, he rumbled in as low a voice as Ragweed had ever heard. What a magnificent surprise! He bounded forward and gave his daughter an enthusiastic nuzzle, which she returned with equal fervor. Hey, Wendy, Clutch said. This is my new bud, Ragweed. He just blew into town and he already saved my life. Saved your life? The fat mouse cried, eyes sparkling with interest. Sir, he exclaimed, I should like to shake your paw. He did so with great vigor and enthusiasm. It is clear, young mouse, you subscribe to the same philosophy as I do, the world of big gestures, action, commitment. He clung to Ragweed's paw, continuing to shake it. I'm delighted to meet you. No correction. Thrilled to meet you. No correction. Thrilled to meet you. Welcome to the family, he went on, all the while pumping Ragweed's paw. Oh, well, thank you, Ragweed said mildly. Did you hear, Foggy? Windshield cried, turning toward his wife. This delightful young mouse saved our daughter's life. That's nice, Clutch's mother said. Be finished in 2 secs. Though she seemed to mean it, she was too intent upon her work to break off. Not so, Windshield. Come on over here, you two. Great to see you. Clutch, love your hair, you know, he said suddenly, halting and rising up on the hind legs as if giving sermon. When a stranger saves the life of another stranger, it seems to me we have reached a major turning point. It means mice are beginning to take care of mice. It's a trend, he cried with great sweeping motions of one paw. What has happened will affect other mice. They will affect yet others. The movement will spread and the whole world of mice will change. It's a revolution. Wendy, Clutch said, can we get something to eat? Of course, Windshield said, good-naturedly. Foggy, he called to his wife. Care to join us? Just 2 secs, Fog Light mumbled again without looking up. My wife, Windshield explained to Ragweed with pride, is a wonderful writer. Do you know how you can tell a professional writer from an amateur? No. An amateur worries about the work before starting. A professional worries about the work when finished. Windshield led the 2 young mice under a seat where food was piled about in random fashion. Help yourself, my dear friends. Now then, Ragweed, the complete story. No detail is too small. How did you preserve my daughter's life? I desire to hear it all. It was at the Cheese Squeeze Club, Ragweed began. The Cheese Squeeze Club, Windshield interrupted. These places where young people congregate are important. When I was young, it was different. We were so isolated. Today, a whole new feeling has emerged, a sense of belonging, and these clubs make a turning point, a trend. The world is changing. Revolution is at hand. Wendy, Clutch reported. Do you want to know what happened? Certainly. Silversides and Graybar mopped up the club. Cruel, hateful creatures, Windshield cried. Holding down the mice of this town, repressing us. But our time will come. He clenched his paw and held it high. We mice shall rise again. Tell me about it, Clutch said. Never give up heart, Windshield proclaimed. Remember, we're at a turning point. Notice that a whole new feeling has emerged, a new sense of belonging, a revolution. Hey, Pops, Clutch said with affection. You said that already. Have? The artist was truly surprised. At least. Oh, well. Repetition is the proof of sincerity. Saying what you mean is important. It's a turning point. A whole new... Wendy! Clutch cried, cutting him off. Then Ragweed said, Mr. Windshield, sir, do you think anything can be done about the cats? Make them stop hurting you guys? Windshield seemed to deflate. Well, if you put it that way, no. But young fellow, the power of art will... He stopped mid-sentence. That reminds me, he said. He rushed out from under the seat, headed for the back of the bus, and resumed painting. Ragweed looked to Clutch. Like the power of art will what? He asked her. Beats me, Clutch said, laughing. That's the way the dude always talks. He's constantly cruising, dreaming, except, know what I'm saying? Most of his dreams come when he's awake. Clutch, Ragweed said. Really, isn't there, anything to be done about those cats? Clutch sighed. Hey, dude, I'll tell it like it is. There are us mice, okay? And then there are those cats. We don't deserve it, but they hate us. Generally speaking, we lose. Totally. Hey, it's what's going down. A constant struggle. And that's the way it's going to be. But, Ragweed stammered, that's an awful way to live. Hey, dude, you've been here, what, 1 day, 2, right? Me, I've spent my whole life looking over my shoulders for cats. So chill. Know what I'm saying? Keep on living till we die. No other way. It'll come. And there's nothing we can do about it. But hey, baby, you live with regrets, you'll wind up regretting living. And that were some wise words by Windshield and Clutch, I reckon. End of chapter 11.